Hello, everyone, and welcome to the third offering, second, but third also offering that I am providing to continue celebrating the summer solstice, the initiation of summer. I wanted to do a few different things for the collective from the actual summer solstice, which was on the 21st, through the end of the month. And so today's offering will be a reading for the collective, utilizing some of my favorite tools, or one of my favorite tools, and also just verbal challenge, verbal channeling, and allowing the messages to just come through me, which they've already been kind of swirling in my mind already, which typically happens once I say I'm going to do something. Then it's like open the doors and all the things start coming through. So I will surrender to the guidance that's being given by my own ONYI, my higher self, my head, by the ancestors, by Orisha, Irumole, by any divinities, any deities that walk with me that I'm connected to at any given moment, the elements, the elementals, colors, numbers, any being that will help to ground, solidify, crystallize the information that is accessible to all of us. Really, the information is there, past, present, future, all information is here and now. And we all have access to it. We all have access to it through our own beings. We all have access to it through all the things and beings, circumstances, situations, places that we encounter at any given moment. And really, it's about attuning to that information, being alignment with that information, being open to that information, and the relevance. Because just because all of it is out there doesn't mean it's all for you, that it's all relevant for you. And that's actually interesting. Ooh, okay, let me actually, I already did my own personal prayers. Started my personal prayers this morning, and I actually will continue them throughout the day. But I'd like to ground us in a prayer right now, in an intention setting. Everyone take a deep breath in and exhale. Ground. Take a deep breath in and exhale. Ground. Take a deep breath in and exhale. Ground. Thanking our higher selves for being here, our ONYIs, for waking up today, for choosing to be in this specific dimension, this physical experience, this particular earth, at this moment in time, wherever we are. Thank you for making the choice to be here, to experience whatever it is that we get to experience that we need in order to help us to continue cultivating, curating, refining our lives, living our lives, experiencing this life. We get to be here. Gratitude for all of us for making this decision to be here together in all the different ways, regardless of how much access we have to each other, regardless of whether or not we will ever meet each other physically, virtually, in other ways. We are all here together. We are all one. We are all connected. Thank you to our ancestors. Thank you to Egun. Thank you to those who came before on our maternal side, on our paternal side. We honor you. We thank you. Our collective ancestors, going back to as far as we need to go to our non-human ancestors, everything, everyone that paved a way for us to be here. Thank you. Thanking the directions, the cardinal directions, the ordinal directions, all of the directions. At any given moment, we have the opportunity to choose a direction of our preference and to move in that direction, knowing that no matter where we move, everything we do is part of our path. We are never off our path. We are the path. We are never off ourselves. Thank you. Thank you to the elements and elementals, to the energies that you reflect outside of us, to the energies that we embody within us. Thank you. May we embody whatever energy is necessary at any given moment. Thanking the beings in the plant, mineral, animal kingdoms. Thank you for your reflections. Thank you for your beauty, your presence, your co-creation. May we remember ourselves as we witness you, from the tiniest ones of you to the largest ones of you and everything in between. You are all valid. You are important. May we remember the validity and the importance of ourselves, the connection. Thank you to this beautiful earth, Aye, Pachamama, Terra, all the different names, El Mundo, across all the different languages, from all the different perspectives, this beautiful planet that we get to be on, to the system that this planet belongs to the universe, the multiverse, and all of its beauty and all of its expansiveness, its extensiveness, its infiniteness, all of time and space, the all that is. Thank you, Olodumare, for everything. God, Source, all the different names by which we know you as, and the names that we don't even know. We cannot fathom you. Literally, we cannot fathom the expansiveness, the extensiveness of you, Olodumare, of all of existence. But may we know that we are part of the whole. Without any one of us, any single individual one of us, the all that is would not be the all that is. We all complete the puzzle piece of this existence. And may we remember that and be that. Be the reflection that we came here to be in all the different ways, no matter how that looks, with integrity, with peace, with joy, with gratitude. Ashe, I thank you. I'm grateful. May we be open to the messages that come through, however they come through, to provide illumination, to provide understanding, to provide wisdom, to provide knowledge. Thank you. So the message that that was insisting on coming through is around relevance. I was having a conversation with someone about this, and we hear this often, this idea that anything's possible, everything's possible, anything's possible, right? Anything that you can imagine is possible. And consider that the imagination of every single person, every single being on this planet, the imagination, literally from the most, what we consider absurd, to the most, whatever we want to consider it, anything is possible. Anything is possible, literally. Just in this moment, even think about the things you think are impossible. And literally, if you can think it, it exists somewhere. It can exist somewhere. It exists somewhere. There are multiple versions, multiple dimensions of this earth. This world is not one world, it's many worlds. One, this actual dimension of earth we're on, many worlds. Each individual is a world. Each collection of individuals is a world. So there are an infinite number of worlds that we actually move through, navigate, reflect, see. And then on top of that, there are the multiple dimensions that are existing all here now. This is very Eshu energy, the crossroads, multiple dimensions, past, present, future, all existing now, all breaking apart as a multitude, the infinite number, coming back as one, breaking apart, coming back as one. It all exists now. Everything exists now. There are versions of this earth that are more negative than the version we are experiencing, that are versions that are infinitely more positive, and everything in between, different levels, different variations, different degrees. Everything, anything is possible, but the question is it relevant for you? The example that I used in the conversation is the ability to fly as human beings. Yes, we have airplanes, we have helicopters, we have We have different technology that we have created to fly, but I I know there are many people that are like, it would be amazing to just actually just fly with my own body. And you know what? That could be relevant for someone. Maybe that could be relevant for someone. But the question is it relevant for you? Did you come here? Did you incarnate into this existence with the destiny called I'm to fly? To where, okay, maybe that's for whatever reason, your spirit is like, that's what we're going to do. And we're going to do that because doing that reflects something specific to the collective, for the good of the collective, for the evolution of the collective that I need to express through flying. So if that's relevant for you, okay. That's not relevant for everybody. Human beings did not sprout wings right now. And perhaps the reason for that is like connecting to this energy of groundedness, like really setting foot on earth and staying on earth, on the ground, literally on the ground. That's the relevance for us. And that's what we came here to reflect, to be. Not just for us, but for other beings. Just as much as we are receiving the reflections of others, other beings are receiving the reflections of us. We have this idea as human beings that we're the ultimate observers, that we're the ultimate ones to do all the things. And yes, again, Ifa says that we were specially selected to bring good things to the earth. But it doesn't say we were the only ones to bring good things to the earth. Every creature, every being is bringing something good to the earth. And just as we are observing or consuming other things are observing and consuming us. The birds are watching us. So the birds were given wings, or they developed wings, or they evolved from the dinosaurs to have wings because it was their destiny to do that. And there's something specific they are learning and teaching through having the ability to move through air in that way, to experience that aerodynamicism. And just as we're watching them, rather than being in this place of like, I wish I could do that, I can't do that. It's like, how about we be grateful for the fact that we were given these amazing, beautiful bodies called the human body and all its different expressions, all its different colors, all its different configurations within a specific spectrum. And we can admire the birds. Say, wow, birds, you're so beautiful in your reflection and your ability to do what you're doing. Yeah, it'd be great to do what you're doing, but I also appreciate what it is that I am doing as a human being. I'm reflecting as a human being. Why do we all need to do the same thing? We don't all need to do the same thing. So I can appreciate what I came here to do, appreciate what you came here to do, knowing that the sum total of what we all came here to do is creating the whole. So this idea of needing to do all the things from this place of anxiety called I'm missing out. Oh, I wish I could fly. And I'm using the example of flying because it's a very extreme example, but use it in any other way. Consider all the things that you imagine that you prefer to do or want to do that is not actually available to you right now for whatever reason. Imagine that you've done all the things and you've put all the energy and it's just not available for you to do. On the one hand, it could be that there's something specific that you're not seeing that is necessary to be done. And so the prayer becomes, okay, may I get out of the way? May I get out of the way to do what needs to be done in order to do this thing that I say prefer. And it could be, you know what, may I get out of the way to see that maybe this thing that I prefer is not actually aligned for me. It's not actually relevant for me. That could be it. That could be the resistance called attachment to the things that I say I prefer, but are not actually coming easefully to me. So then in that sense, a prayer becomes, okay, may I get out of the way? And if I am attached to something that is actually not relevant for me, Not that it's not possible, maybe it's possible for someone else. So may I release it so that if it is possible for someone else, that they be the ones, they be the energies to embody those things, to fulfill those things, to channel those things, to experience those things. And may I surrender to what actually is there for me to experience that is relevant for me, even if it doesn't look like what I thought I wanted. Because the majority of our wants, the majority of our wants are determined by what conditioning, ideas, beliefs based on the things that we imagine we need in order to feel valid, in order to feel worthy, because we've bought into a lot of things that we've been taught by other people that were operating from their own anxieties. So we attach to these things that are actually not relevant for our existence, for our experience, because of someone else, something else, because of anxiety. But what if we actually chose to drop into this place of groundedness? Let me ground into the destiny that I chose, or use whatever word that is relevant for you. Because a lot of people have issues or challenges with that word destiny. This idea of like, I'm forced to do something. I can't, even that in and of itself creates the idea of restriction. If you imagine that the word destiny, or whatever word you choose to use, the lessons you came here to learn, the lessons you came here to choose, you chose it on some level if you choose that perspective. There's so much choice that we have access to, and the destiny is a choice too. So consider the idea, what did I come here to learn, to teach, to experience? Like one of my teachers says, you will learn, you will teach, you will experience that whether through insistence, resistance, or surrender and ease. Surrender into the ease called whatever it is that I came here to learn, to experience, I will do it. And that can look like so many different ways. That's the other part. The other part is, are we fixated on an idea of how that thing needs to be experienced or presented or look like? I use this analogy, I use this all the time. Um, I love to travel. I love to travel. And for me, the pinnacle of traveling is international travel. Just going to a completely different part of Earth with different languages or different customs or different experiences, even though on some level there is that connecting unit amongst all of us. Again, we are one species, humanity. Like there's only so much variation we're gonna have as humans because we're all like cut from the same cloth, but then it expands and spreads into the different variations and the different experiences of that. But like we're all humans. um, but that idea of experiencing some other part of earth, the land with its specific longitudinal, latitudinal, degrees and things, and then how that shifts the experience that people have in that place, the languages, the cloth, the colors, the foods, all the things. And I find that, and I've been told that in divinations that I've experienced, that I've had, that I become a better person every time I travel. It's, I always use that analogy of the puzzle pieces. I feel like my experience is a puzzle that was broken apart and spread throughout different parts of the world, and that every time I travel I find another puzzle piece of myself. So for me, travel is so important, and I know that is my destiny, to travel, to move about, to experience different things. And if international travel is the pinnacle for me, there is that opportunity for me to get stuck in the idea that if I don't get to travel internationally, then that just, woe is me, and I'm bereft and all these different things. So I have the opportunity to experience it that way, and that's my choice. But then that cuts off the flow of energy, called travel, period. Space is like travel. It doesn't specifically, and for some people it might be that specific, but I think for many people, it's kind of that overarching energy called travel. So then the opportunity becomes, okay, if I don't have whatever is necessary to travel internationally in the way that I prefer, and Spirit's like, okay, what's the next level? Can I travel to another state? If I didn't have the funds or the time off or whatnot to travel international and to take, a month or more off, go international, can I travel to another state for a week? Is that option there? Because again, the goal is travel, or the excitement really is travel. That's the other part. Goals versus excitement, because we can latch onto a goal called this specific thing that I need to do. And if I don't do it, then I create all this angst, all this sadness, all this negative energy for myself. So stripping away the idea of goal and what is my intention, what is my joy, what is my desire? Travel. Okay, I can't do it internationally. What's the next thing that I can do to follow my excitement? Okay, travel to another state. Maybe I choose a further state away from me because that gives me the idea of like further travel. Do that. Great. That is fulfilling. That's generating the energy that this activity called travel is there to bring to me, is there for me to express within myself. Okay, so let's say the opportunity to travel to another state is not there. Can I travel to the next city? Say I have a car. Okay, I didn't have the funds to travel internationally, to travel to another state. Can I drive to another city, whether it's nearby or a little further away? Do that. Again, that generates energy because again, spirit, there's a level of specificity that spirit has, but then there's a level that is not so specific. It's like just do the thing. Okay, travel to another city. Get in my car, pack a bag, maybe I can do an overnight trip, great. If that's not possible, can I travel to another neighborhood? Because that is still fulfilling the energy of traveling. That's not possible. Can I travel to another block? Walk on my two legs, take a walk, travel to another block, or get on my bike, get on my rollerblades, my skateboard, my wheelchair, get in a wagon, have someone literally pull me through. Can I travel down the block? Let's say that's not possible for whatever reason. Where do I live? Can I travel around my house? Literally just walk around my house, walk in my yard, go back and forth in my yard. I travel. Let's say that's not possible. Can I walk from one corner of my house inside to the next corner or of my room or whatever space that I inhabit, whether inside or outside? Can I travel in that way? Let's say that's not possible for whatever reason. Let's say you're bedridden or you can't leave your house for whatever reason. Doesn't matter. So it's like, we don't care. Doesn't matter. What do you have the access to do? And how are you doing the thing that you say you want to do? Can I draw a picture of myself traveling? Can I do that? Can I write the word travel? Can I just focus on the word travel in whatever language I speak? In what ways are you able to do the things that you say you prefer to do that generates the energy? And as you do those things, you continue to generate the energy that then opens up the possibility for other things, that shifts you to versions of Earth, different dimensions that give you more ability to do the things that you prefer to do in the ways you prefer to do them, and or shows you the opportunities for other things that are not even related to that thing. Because your spirit says, you know what, we just use this idea of traveling to get you to move, to get you to take a step. But what we really wanted you to do was meet new people. What we really wanted you to do was encounter the land and spaces. What we really wanted you to do was exercise. It doesn't matter. So the message that's coming through is stop keeping yourself stuck on the idea of what you prefer to do in such a way. I'm not saying don't move towards your goals, that's a different story. But if there's a resistance and there's an attachment to doing things in a specific way that causes you to not see all the different opportunities that are coming to you to do it in another way, or the things that are coming to you because that was just kind of a symbol, a signal to get to something else, let go. See what shows up. See what shows up. Be courageous. Take a step. And you'll get the immediate feedback about whether or not you need to course correct or shift course or keep going in that path. The things we do, how do I want to say this? The reason for the things we do aren't always what we imagine them to be. So just do and be in the thing in the present moment. There's no attachment to the results, no attachment to the end goal, no attachment to the awards at the end, the acknowledgement at the end, the visibility. Those things are nice and great. And oftentimes we, again, in this version of Earth that we have collectively created, that validation for us is, it feels good. So if you receive that validation, give honor and gratitude for it, take it in, feel it, and then let it go. And continue following your joy, following the excitement, following the breadcrumbs that are left as you are moving in the direction of the thing called your joy. What is relevant for you at any given time, every given moment, in the entirety of your destiny, in the entirety of what you came here to teach and learn? Maybe ask that question. If you find that you are experiencing a lack of clarity, some confusion, some kind of going back and forth, maybe that's a question to ask. Literally ask yourself. Ask yourself, ask your ancestors, ask your guides, ask the collective of the energies, the spirits, the beings, whomever you pray to. What is relevant for me? What is in alignment with my joy? What did I come here to learn, to teach, to heal, to experience? Help me to see those things clearly. Help me to get out of the way. Help me to remove any obstacles that I've put there myself or that other people have put that I have aligned with. What is that? Literally ask you, literally speak out, out loud and ask yourself that and see what comes up. See what comes up. Thank you for that message. I'm going to pull a card from one of my favorite decks. And the way that I am not a tarot reader in the conventional sense. There is a science to tarot, a specific lineages, specific histories, specific technologies around science, the art of tarot, which I absolutely love, respect, and I've learned so much from. I have many friends, spiritual energy practitioners, healing practitioners, metaphysical practitioners that utilize the technology of tarot. And the way that tarot came to me to utilize, as suggested by one of the priestesses that I work with in the past, because of the way that I process information and the way that information grounds itself to me, how I was instructed for myself to utilize it was to pull cards and to see what came to me, and not necessarily being attached to the specific suite or the specific information based on the actual, again, science technology of tarot and the ways that it has been passed down from different lineages, but to come to my own kind of intuitive experience of it because it's helping me just as other things help me. Animals help me, colors help me, numbers help me. I'm a big numbers person. Something about the information that the cards show me creates a lot of triggers within my consciousness that help me to start to weave together the information that is necessary to channel in that moment through my experience and my expression. And then whatever you do with it is what you do with it for your own self. And just pay attention and just be open to that information. Sometimes I read from the book based on the guidance, sometimes I don't. Um, and we just go from there. So, this deck that I am using, and I used to have more decks, but I've really mostly used this one deck. I kind of like a how my loyalty energy expresses itself is sometimes I'll kind of focus on one thing for a long time just to really ground in the energy of that one thing. And kind of utilizing other things is great, but for some reason I just always come back to this deck. So this is the Osho Zen tarot deck that a friend of mine years ago had suggested to me, and I just have used it ever since. I just find so much information to pull from and weave together from it that is really beautiful. So I'm going to shuffle. And I ask that whatever information is relevant in this moment to share with everyone, including myself, that we be open to it. Ooh, we be open to it. Actually, that was an interesting experience. So the experience that I just had while shuffling was in one hand, one half of the deck was very solid, very still, very grounded. The other half was a little kind of disheveled and felt chaotic. So it feels like there's this time of just feeling like we have a lot of split energy. It's like on the one hand, people are feeling very like solid, very comfortable in things. And on the other hand, people are really feeling very like there's so much changing, there's so much chaos, there's so much movement happening. And it's almost like we're flip-flopping back and forth between the two. So I'm not sure if anyone resonates with that, but I definitely feel that. It's like on the one hand, it's like I feel more grounded in many ways. I feel more connected to certain energies that are really even coming back up to the surface for me to experience in very strong ways. And I feel like things are all over the place. I feel like the sense of like the unknown is just really like staring me like right in the face. It's just in front of me, to the sides of me, around me. So it's like this energy of like, what do? I don't know what to do, but also I'm very like trusting and knowing what to do. So I think that's an energy that I'm feeling is very prevalent for a lot of people. Okay. Oh, 2 cards. 2 cards. Okay, so 2 cards, 2, yes. Interesting. Okay, so that's another thing that I experience. There's a message in everything, So I pulled 2 cards, but I kept, with one of the cards, it kept feeling like there was more there. So 2 messages coming through around that. On the one hand, there's the energy of things. There are more things that you're not seeing that are happening beneath the surface. So don't take everything at surface value. There's more happening. So if there's questions about things or questions about people, you're not sure about things, and you're just in this place of anxiety about like, I just don't know. There may be more things beneath the surface that you are not aware of that you don't actually need to see right now. The work for you is to just continue following your peace, your joy, all these things. Don't get so overwhelmed by or attached to, obsessed by the idea of like, but what? Well, what? It's like, yes, there's a lot happening beneath the surface. We're handling that. You just keep moving, but just know that there's more and we're handling it. So there's that. the other side of this as well. So whichever side you relate to, or maybe both. Again, maybe that's the flip flopping between the two. Is accept things for what they are. Don't try to make more of things. Sometimes we don't appreciate the simplicity of things, of experiences, of situations, of relationships. We don't appreciate like what's actually showing up in front of us. We're like, but there needs to be more. So it's like, again, that's one of the things that we use to block ourselves from seeing the beauty of things, seeing the opportunity of things, because because you're so focused on looking for more, you're actually missing the blessing of what actually showed up. So again, whatever side of the spectrum you fall on, or if you kind of navigate between the two, just remember that message. So the two cards that I pulled, and I love it. So this one here says completion. This one here says rebirth. I'm going to read both of the messages from both, from the book for both. But I love that this completion came up. And as you see, the puzzle piece, for those who've just joined, hello, hello, and welcome. But I've been utilizing this puzzle piece imagery a lot throughout this transmission. And I utilize it a lot in my life. Just this idea that completion, each piece of the puzzle allows for the completion of the entirety. So how I was mentioning it before was we are all a piece of the puzzle of existence. All of us, no matter who we are, no matter what our experiences are, our natures are, the combination of energies that moves through us at any given times are. Without any one of us in this specific existence, a specific dimension on this version of Earth, and throughout all the universe, the entirety of the cosmos and everything, without any single one of us, it wouldn't be complete. So use that as a reminder that you are valuable, you are important. There's a specific reason existence, the all that is, allowed for you to be here, to choose the experiences that you're having, to choose the destiny that you are living out on this version, because it needed to experience itself through you specifically. Even if you have a twin, identical twin, you're still not identical. Like every single being, every speck of dust is unique. Every microscopic organism, all the most tiny piece of what you can even think of is unique. That's a whole lot of stuff. That's a lot. Without any single one of us, existence would not be complete. So the message is be you. If you're trying to be someone else, one, it's just not going to happen. You can't. It's just not possible. No matter how much you imitate, no matter how much you may convince some people on some level, but you're still not convincing them on all the levels of themselves, because on some level, like there's a part of them that knows. Be what and who you came here to be. Complete that puzzle. Trying to be something or someone else is actually resistance to what you came here to be. It's anxiety, it's fear. And you get to ask yourself, am I interested in operating in this lifetime from a place of fear, from a place of anxiety, from a place of the delusion called I'm not worthy, I'm not valuable, I'm not unique, I'm not necessary? If that's what you want to do, if that's what you prefer, if that's what you imagine you prefer to do, then by all means do it, because that's valid too. That's part of the puzzle too, if that's literally what you came here to do. And if not, if you have an inkling that, you know what, maybe it's not what I came here to do, you get to shift that. Literally, you get to shift that like that. The time it takes to do anything, again, that's another thing. It's so interesting. And I pay attention to how I speak. I pay attention to how other people speak. There's a lot of things that we put out there as if it's fact. Like, it takes this amount of time to do anything. It takes this. Yes, for certain things, there's certain procedures and processes that we've all collectively agreed to on this version of Earth that potentially, have those structures that we may not veer too far away from. And within that, but also many times outside of us, it's all our own choice. If we remembered how powerful we are, given our connection to, not just a connection to, but our experience and expression as source, literally as soon as you think something, as soon as you decide something, it's done. It's done. We have that ability. And also, we have the ability to experience whatever process, whatever time, the illusion of time, whatever time it takes to move through something, because that process is showing us something. But again, not everything is what it seems. Again, completion. And also, what did you come here to complete? If there are any things that are ready for completion, within which you're standing in the way of the completion, Spirit is saying, get out of the way. Get out of the way, allow the thing to be completed. If it's a project, if it's a relationship that is complete, whether the completion is, hey, complete this relationship and further it along, or complete this relationship and it has done what it needs to do. Whether it needs to be let go of or delved into more. What completion are you getting in the way of from your anxiety, from your fear? Complete those things. And for some of you, it's literally just like one little step, it's like so there, but the difference between completing it and not is like this place of anxiety, this place of fear. Maybe you're afraid of what's on the other side, the unknown. Like, if I complete this, I'm scared that no one's gonna buy it or no one's gonna Spirit's like, that is holding you back. So do what you need to do to complete it. And I'm listening to the words that are coming out of my own mouth, because I'm like, yeah, there's a few things that they're like, it's like almost done. And the one, like the last thing that I need to do is like, oh, decide on a title or decide. So I'm like, thanks. Complete it. Stop running away from the completion from your place of fear of the unknown. I'm going to read what the book says as well to garner additional information from this beautiful message. So completion, and the number that's associated with this, I love it, is 21, if I'm reading my Roman numerals correctly. And yeah, 21, and it's part of the major arcana if you're looking at traditional tarot. So whatever that message is for you, then go with it, run with it. So there's commentary here. I'll keep holding it up so you see it while I read it. Here, the last piece of a jigsaw puzzle is being put into its place. The position of the third eye, the place of inner perception. Even in the ever-changing flow of life, there are moments in which we come to a point of completion. In these moments, we're able to perceive the whole picture, the composite of all the small pieces that have occupied our attention for so long. In the finishing, we can either be in despair because we don't want the situation to come to an end, or we can be grateful and accepting of the fact that life is full of endings and new beginnings. Whatever has been absorbing your time and energy is now coming to an end. In completing it, you will be clearing the space for something new to begin. Use this interval to celebrate both the end of the old and the coming of the new. Additional information here. This is the way of Zen, not to say things to their completion. This has to be understood. It is a very important methodology. Not to say everything means to give up an opportunity to the listener to complete it. All answers are incomplete. The master has only given you a direction. By the time you reach the limit, you will know what is going to remain. This way, if somebody is trying to understand Zen intellectually, he will fail. It is not an answer to the question, but something more than the answer. It is indicating the very reality. The Buddha nature is not something far away. Your very consciousness is Buddha nature. And your consciousness can witness these things which constitute the world. The world will end, but the mirror will remain, mirroring nothing. So that's a whole other layer. So not to say everything is to give an opportunity to the listener to complete it. So that, so many of us, we want to do and say everything. But this needs to, and I didn't say this thing. And I, again, from this place of anxiety, like if I don't say all the things, if I don't do all the things, then that means like one, I don't know. People are going to perceive me as not knowing what I'm doing, that the things are not going to be completed because I have to be the one to, no, you don't. No, you don't. What if what's necessary is to just take a step back? You said your piece, you did your thing. Any attempt to do more from this place called, but if I don't do it, it's not going to get done. It's not going to be completed. That's anxiety. What if you're the one getting in the way? Because what if it's not up to you to complete it? That's a whole other thing. So one, the message is complete the things you need to complete that are actually relevant and there for you to complete. The other level is maybe the missing piece someone else has to do. Their specific energy is what is going to lock things into place. You set it up for, that person or that experience, that thing to come through. And now something else has to come through. And therefore you've all contributed to the completion of something. Again, this idea many of us have that we have to be the ones. I need to be the one because we want to look like we're the ones doing it from this place of seeking validation, seeking the glory, seeking whatever there is to gain. But then that's getting in the way, because what if the thing is requiring something else that's not you? And actually how you contribute to it is like, okay, I've done my part. I gave what I gave from my place of joy, from my place of integrity. Now, whomever needs to come through and finish this, I contributed my piece of the puzzle. For me to try to be the other piece, again, that going back to what I said before, it's not going to work. And you get in the way. And you open the doors for a corruption of the thing, which is its own experience. So at the end of the day, the net result is what it's going to be. And you also get to learn, step out of the way. You did your part. Now allow whatever else needs to happen to happen. Sashay, beautiful message. Beautiful message. Thank you, completion card. I appreciate the messages that you provided through the imagery of the puzzle, through the energy of completion, through 21, 2 and 1 is 3. 3 is a sacred number in Ifa in so many traditions. 3 is a number of Eshu. 3 is one of the numbers of Ogun, clearing the path. Ogun, clearing the path, breakthrough. Eshu, the crossroads, multiple dimensions. Ooh. Opening and closing of doors, completing things, starting things, Ashe. Okay, so the second card that came through is the Rebirth. Rebirth. And at the bottom is a camel that is kind of submerged in the midst of clouds. And then rising out of the camel is a lion, a ferocious lion, and the color gets a little more orange and brighter, fiery, and then rising out of the lion is a little boy, a little child, a little girl, non-binary, whatever gender expression or experience this child, this youthful energy is, playing the flute. And this bright yellow A little bit of white specks here and there. 10, 1, rebirth. So I'm going to read the description first and then allow for whatever other information is coming through me to connect to that as well. Okay. So I'm going to hold the card up while I read this message. Commentary. This card depicts the evolution of consciousness as it is described by Friedrich Nietzsche in his book, Thus Spake Zarathustra. He speaks of the 3 levels of camel, lion, and child. The camel is sleepy, dull, self-satisfied. He lives in delusion, thinking he's a mountain peak. But really, he is so concerned with others' opinions that he hardly has any energy of his own. Emerging from the camel is the lion. When we realize we've been missing life, we start saying no to the demands of others. We move out of the crowds, alone and proud, roaring our truth. But this is not the end. Finally, the child emerges, neither acquiescent nor rebellious, but innocent and spontaneous and true to his, her, or their own being. Whatever the space you're in right now, sleepy and depressed or roaring and rebellious, be aware that it will evolve into something new if you allow it. It is a time of growth and change. The next section. In Zen, you are coming from nowhere and you are going nowhere. You are just now here, neither coming nor going. Everything passes by you. Your consciousness reflects it, but it does not get identified. When a lion roars in front of a mirror, do you think the mirror roars? Or when the lion is gone and a child comes dancing, the mirror completely forgets about the lion and starts dancing with the child. Do you think the mirror dances with the child? The mirror does nothing. It simply reflects. Your consciousness is only a mirror. Neither do you come nor do you go. Things come and go. You become young, you become old, you are alive, you are dead. All these states are simply reflections in an eternal pool of consciousness. Rebirth. Rebirth. A lot of shifting, a lot is coming to a completion. Coming to a completion in order for the rebirth to happen. Birthing cannot happen without the death or the completion of something else. So we see here the cycles. Completion, the ending, allowing for the birth of something. Allowing for the birth of something. And this energy of transformation, of going from different states, from the positive, from the negative to the positive. The spectrum, the full spectrum. And we all move through the spectrum. And whatever part of the spectrum you are in, if you are still here as a camel, the sleepy camel, the acquiescent camel, acquiescing in ways that don't allow for whatever energy, whatever fire is there for you to move into. If you're here in this level and you actually need to be here, again, whatever is relevant, you give gratitude to it. That's the other part. See, people always want to give gratitude for the things they like, the things they prefer, the brightness, the light. If you're of the belief that there's only negativity in the dark, but I don't see dark as only negative. To me, the dark is neutral. All of it is neutral. How you express it, how you experience it, how you perceive it, that's where the spectrum of positive to negative, or negative to positive and neutral in between happens. But if you're here and you actually require being here for some time, whatever time is appropriate and relevant for you, sit here and ask the question, okay, I'm here. What is it that I need to learn being here that I otherwise would not learn? Because until you've used up all the information, all the energy that's here, you have no place to go. Trying to force yourself out of here into the next level when you're not ready, when you haven't used everything, Again, people want to be moving to different places, but they haven't even moved through, accepted, appreciated where they're at. Everything has a purpose, has a function, from negative to positive, positive, negative, neutral, in between, every point on the spectrum, the infinite spectrum. Are you utilizing everything that's here? For any individuals that move through depressiveness, depression, again, ensure that you are speaking to professionals to support you with that. Ensure you're taking whatever medication is aligned for you, that has been recommended for you. And also consider that you have the opportunity to use the information that is even within the states of depressiveness. There's another perspective of depression called compression. When you're seeking answers, you're seeking information, you're seeking answers, and you know that the only place to get those answers is to go within, and therefore you need to come from outside and go within. So if you're in that state of compression, perhaps before it even gets to that state of depression, of having stayed in that compressive energy for longer than you need to, longer than is relevant for you, there's information there. Remind your consciousness literally by speaking to yourself and saying, okay, I'm in this state now. What is it that I came here to learn in this state, that once I learn it, I pull myself from that state into the next state? Again, that next state is that fiery energy, that lion that's roaring, that's like, this whole time I've been in this dark, and now I'm coming out of it. That explosive energy propelling you out of that darker or that compressed or that depressed time, coming out of it. And so now you're the roaring lion doing all the things, maybe burning down all that's a whole other thing, burning down the things. But sometimes that fire, that transmutation is necessary. But even that's not the end. Again, as you keep moving, the destination keeps changing. There is no one destination. Every point is its own destination. Every point is its own beginning and end. Because from the line emerges the child. As you take all the information, turn to knowledge, turn to understanding and wisdom, the wisdom of that child, the innocence, that brightness, that clarity, that lightness as opposed to heaviness, that joy, that frequency of sound that pierces through everything, including matter. Moving through all of it, that full cycle, completing all of it. Completion, 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 rebirth, completion, rebirth. And allow whatever other messages come to you through listening to the words, through looking at the images, in isolation, in combination. Allow whatever is triggered within your consciousness through those messages and any other messages that have come through today. Allow that to happen. Let us close out today thanking. Thank you, information. Thank you to the card of completion. Thank you to the card of rebirth from the Osho Zen Tarot deck. Thank you to the colors, the images, the numbers. Anything else that was triggered by all of the data, all of the information from those cards, pulling in, grounding, cohering the information that, again, is always accessible to all of us at any given time, whatever is relevant for us. Thank you to our higher selves for being open to whatever information we received. And may we be open to the information as it continues to move through our consciousness, as it continues to spiral around within us to unlock other pieces of information within, outside of us. It's all one. Whatever ripple effect this moment together has had, may we be open to that. May we allow it to support us in transforming our DNA. Our DNA is always changing. Every single moment, anytime you take in any information, you put out any information, you're shifting your DNA, and we welcome whatever shifts are necessary in order for us to be more of who we are. Thanking our ancestors and the information they provided through their lives, through their words, through their movements, through what they ate, through how they operated, all the information that paved the way for the information for the being that is us. And as we experience ourselves in these bodies across all levels, the information that presents, we pave a way for future generations, whether or not there are our children that we birth physically, whether it's people, no matter what age, that we touch in some way, future versions of ourselves. May they utilize the information that we are providing, we are reflecting in ways to remind themselves that they get to just be who they are. Thanking all of the information that's presented, provided in all the different directions that we move. At any given moment, we get to move in whatever direction, and each direction presents sets, multiplicities of information for us to incorporate, transform, evolve. Thank you to the information from the elements: fire, earth, water, air, ether, love, all the elemental beings that exist with us, that coexist with us, always informing us, and the expression of the elements within us: fire, earth, water, air. We are all of it, and that information that we embody and that we line up with outside of us. Thank you for that information. Thank you to the information from the beings in plant, mineral, and animal kingdoms. Your infinite spectrum of information through the colors, the shapes, the sounds, the way you move, what environments you live in, that you move through. You're always giving information in some way. Your mere presence is information to reflect and remind our consciousness of who we are, because we are all of it. And when we take in that information, utilize it to support us in breaking through what we need to break through, to allow the actual information that we came here to be and present to break through and to be free. Thanking this earth for this information that we come from the soil, all the information, the beautiful information that this earth provides. From the earth we come, to the earth we are always returning, giving back information called the sum total of the lives that we live, giving it back to the earth as our cells return to the earth every moment up until and including the moment that we transition and beyond. Thank you to all the information that is here. Thank you to all the information that is here. May we utilize the information to be more of who we are. All of the information of the cosmos, the universe, the multiverse. Every piece is a part of that puzzle. Part of the puzzle. Completing the puzzle. Allowing for the birth of the new puzzle. Puzzle's always changing. Always changing. Always changing. Always changing. Always changing. May we surrender to transformation. Ashe. Ashe, ashe, ashe. Thank you, thank you, thank you all so much for being here. And you will get whatever it is you need to get and keep getting. Because again, past, present, future exists now, no matter when you listen to this, how you listen to it, who you are when you listen to it. Be open to whatever it strikes within you. Thank you again so much. So again, this is part of the offerings that I am giving to the collective during this summer solstice time. Again, the solstice already happened, but I'm using the remainder of the days in June to give offerings through this YouTube channel. And also I have a offering that I released recently called the ONYI Love Soul Cleanse, which is a 9-part, it's actually multiple parts, but it's kind of cultivated or curated in 9 days. You can also do it in 9 weeks, 9 months, however you choose to utilize the cleanse. That incorporates sound healing through my sound immersion using crystal bowls and me singing. That incorporates meditation, prayer, that incorporates verbal guidance, and also an image or images for you to meditate on to support you in breaking through what you need to break through, moving through what you need to move through on an emotional level, a mental level, physical level, energetic, spiritual level. So I will include the discount code or the gift code, I should say, the gift code to receive 45% off throughout the rest of this month for this soul cleanse. And once you purchase it, you have access to it for life. You can come back to it at any point, utilize it, experience the breakthrough that you experience, and then put it away, come back to it next time you want a refresher because you've moved through some things. And if you have more questions, feel free to email me at info@onyi.love. That's ONYI.LOVE, info@onyi.love. Sending you all so much love, so much sweetness, so much peace. And again, this will remain on this channel as a replay. So please refer back to it as often as you need. And please share. Please share. It's always wonderful for people to share what I offer. And make sure to like the video and do all the things. So have a beautiful, beautiful day. And the next offering will be on Wednesday. So in 2 days from now at 11 a.m. Pacific time, which will be a collective grounding, which I'll do here on this channel. So take care. Love you all. Ciao, ciao, ciao. Bye.